Let's get real. World War II movies aren't just about bombs, bullets, and history lessons. They're about hearts breaking in the chaos, impossible choices, and love that's got more nerve than a whole battalion. Why do the most unforgettable movie romances bloom when the world is falling apart? Is it courage or just desperation in disguise? Grab your popcorn and buckle up. These stories are about to prove that love can be the wildest battlefield of all. Casablanca, 1942. Let's kick things off with the king of all wartime romances, Casablanca. If you think black and white means boring, think again. This film is loaded with more tension and heartbreak than most modern dramas can even dream of. Set in the smoky, shadow-filled bars of Morocco, Casablanca is what happens when love gets drafted into a war it never asked for. Every corner of Rick's cafe is humming with danger, deals, and desperate dreams of escape. The world is in chaos, but inside, love is brewing under the radar. Rick Blaine, played by Humphrey Bogart, is the kind of guy who pretends he doesn't care about anything or anyone. He's got the best poker face in Casablanca and runs the hottest nightclub in town, where everyone who's anyone is scheming for a ticket out of Nazi-occupied Europe. But when Ilsa Lund walks in, his old flame, now married to a resistance hero, everything Rick's been trying to forget hits him like a freight train. The chemistry between Rick and Ilsa, it could set off its own firestorm. Their eyes do most of the talking, but every word matters, loaded with history and heartache. But don't be fooled. This isn't some sappy, starry-eyed love story. It's about hard choices, real sacrifice, and the pain of doing what's right even when it tears you apart. Rick could have run away with Ilsa, but sometimes love means letting go so someone else can live. Even 80 years later, people still quote lines like, "Here's looking at you, kid." Casablanca isn't just a great World War II romance. It's the blueprint. If you want a love story that's raw, risky, and unforgettable, this is where you start. From Here to Eternity, 1953. Think paradise means palm trees and sunsets, not when you're stationed at Pearl Harbor in 1941. From Here to Eternity drops you straight into a sun-drenched nightmare where every soldier is fighting their own battle, on and off the field. And the love stories? They're just as brutal as the combat, just as unpredictable, and sometimes even more explosive. At its core, this film is all about forbidden passion and living life right on the razor's edge. Deborah Kerr and Burt Lancaster redefine scandal as the most talked-about couple on the beach, sharing a kiss in the crashing surf that pretty much shocked the world and became the stuff of movie legend. Their affair is pure dynamite, sure, but it's not just about sneaking around and breaking rules. Beneath all that heat, both are trying to survive a military system designed to break spirits and punish anyone who doesn't toe the line. But wait, there's more. The film gives us another heartbreak in Montgomery Clift's soulful loner and Donna Reed's nightclub girl. Both are desperate for a lifeline, clinging to love in a world that's about to explode. The war isn't just on the battlefield, it's inside every character. What sets From Here to Eternity apart isn't just its iconic kissing scene or the truckload of Oscars it won. It's how the film turns love into an act of defiance, a fight against the odds, the rules, and sometimes your own fears. When Pearl Harbor is bombed, everything changes in an instant. Suddenly, every tender moment becomes a memory to hold on to. This movie proves love is never easy, but sometimes it's absolutely worth the scars. Atonement, 2007. Think your family drama is bad? Try falling in love with the housekeeper's son, only to have your jealous little sister blow up your life with a lie that echoes through a world at war. Atonement isn't just a romance. It's a slow-motion heartbreak set against the collapse of an entire generation. We meet Cecilia and Robbie in a lush English manor, where class and desire collide in secret glances and urgent letters. When Cecilia's little sister Bryony witnesses a moment she can't understand, her imagination does the rest, and in one snap decision, she changes the course of all their lives. The backdrop, the world plunging into chaos, with Robbie sent to the front and Cecilia joining the war effort as a nurse. But the real battle is against time, regret, and the lies we tell to protect ourselves. What makes Atonement stand out isn't just the sweeping shots of Dunkirk or the devastating score, it's the ache of wasted time and chances lost. This isn't about heroic rescues or happy endings. It's about longing, apology, and the hope that love can somehow outlast even the worst mistakes. Keira Knightley and James McAvoy turn longing into high art. Every look, every word is loaded with what could have been. In the end, Atonement is a reminder. Sometimes the greatest battles are fought in the silence between people, not just on the front lines. If you like your love stories beautiful but brutal, this one will hit you right between the ribs. The English Patient, 1996. Desert heat, secret maps, and love that burns too bright to last. The English Patient is what happens when passion meets the powder keg of World War II. If you want your romance as epic as the Sahara and twice as unforgiving, buckle up for this one, because the stakes couldn't be higher and the landscape couldn't be more deadly. Ralph Fiennes is the enigmatic English Patient, a man burned beyond recognition and riddled with secrets even deeper than his scars. As the war grinds on outside, he's nursed by the gentle Hannah, played by Juliette Binoche, who's got her own wounds to heal. But the heart of the story lies in his memories, told in sweeping flashbacks that pull you straight into a whirlwind affair with Catherine, the luminous, sharp-witted woman played by Kristen Scott Thomas. Their chemistry crackles even in the blistering desert where danger is never far and every tryst is a game of Russian roulette with fate. This isn't just a story about forbidden love. It's about the way history, betrayal, and loyalty tangle together, leaving nobody unscathed. Every choice carries a price. The war turns every simple act, every touch, every word into a leap of faith. The desert isn't just a setting, it's a living, breathing force that consumes secrets and spits out survivors. The English Patient is both sweeping and intensely personal. You'll get lost in endless sands one minute, then be pulled into the quiet agony of a candlelit confession the next. This is why the film won so many Oscars. It makes you feel every heartbreak, every hope, and every scar. Love here is never easy, but it's unforgettable. In Love and War, 1996. Imagine you're young, wounded, and thousands of miles from home, but love finds you in the middle of a nightmare. That's the wild card at the center of In Love and War, a film that puts the impossible in impossible romance. This is based on the real-life experiences of Ernest Hemingway, long before he became a literary legend. Chris O'Donnell plays Hemingway as a brash ambulance driver on the Italian front, where he's blown to bits and sent to a hospital for months of recovery. That's where he meets Agnes, the fiercely independent nurse played by Sandra Bullock. She's smart, tough, and determined not to fall for yet another broken soldier. Spoiler alert, she does anyway. Their affair is an all-in bet against the odds, hospital rules, social differences, and the ticking clock of war itself. The chemistry is prickly, funny, and sometimes painful. Unlike most Hollywood romances, this one isn't about riding off into the sunset. It's about real loss, messy choices, and what happens when timing just isn't on your side. In Love and War is a reminder that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is open your heart, even when you know it might get shattered. The backdrop is bombs and bureaucracy, but at the core, it's just two people hoping love can outrun fate. If you've ever wondered what it would take to risk everything for one shot at happiness, start here. Allied 2016. Forget the stiff upper lip. Allied cranks up the tension with spies, lies, and a love story that's practically begging to blow up. Set in the shadowy world of World War II espionage, this is a romance that never plays it safe. Brad Pitt stars as Max, a Canadian intelligence officer with nerves of steel and trust issues the size of North Africa. Enter the ever-enigmatic Marianne, played by Marion Cotillard, a French resistance fighter who can hold her own in any firefight or ballroom. They meet on a high-stakes mission in Casablanca, pretending to be husband and wife to assassinate a Nazi official. But you know how pretending sometimes turns all too real? Yeah, these two catch serious feelings, even as every step forward means doubling down on secrets. When the mission ends, they try to settle into domestic bliss in war-torn London. That's when the real trouble begins. Max is ordered to investigate Marianne, his own wife, for possibly being a German spy. What follows is a high-wire act of love and suspicion. Max wants to believe in Marianne, But in a world built on deception, every smile hides a question mark. Is she truly who she claims to be, or is their love the ultimate cover story? The suspense is relentless, and the stakes are as personal as they get. Allied isn't just about whether love can survive war, it's about whether it can survive the truth. If you like your romance with a side of paranoia and double cross, this one will keep you guessing till the last frame. Pearl Harbor 2001. Okay, so Michael Bay isn't exactly known for subtlety, but Pearl Harbor brings all the feels along with the fireballs. This movie is a full-on Hollywood spectacle. Explosions, dogfights, and a love triangle so dramatic it could fuel its own soap opera. Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett star as Rafe and Danny, childhood best friends turned ace pilots, flying side by side while the world spins into chaos. But in this story, war isn't the only thing threatening to tear them apart. Enter Kate Beckinsale as Evelyn, a nurse with a spine of steel and a heart that's seen enough heartbreak to last a lifetime. Rafe and Evelyn fall hard for each other, creating a rare bright spot in the gathering gloom. But when Rafe goes missing in action, Danny steps up to help Evelyn pick up the pieces, and love takes a detour nobody saw coming. Just when things start to settle, Rafe returns, flipping everyone's world upside down again. Now it's not just bombs dropping, emotions, loyalties, and second chances explode right alongside them. What sets Pearl Harbor apart, even with its blockbuster excess, is how it never apologizes for wearing its heart on its sleeve. The movie dives headfirst into romance, friendship, and sacrifice, showing how war makes everything more urgent, more intense, and sometimes more heartbreaking. There are no easy choices and no clean endings here, just the raw reality that love, like war, can leave scars that never fully heal. If you want a film that hits you with every emotion all at once, grief, joy, rage, hope, Pearl Harbor pulls no punches. You'll feel it all, and then some. The Gernzie Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society 2018. Don't let the quirky title fool you. This is a love story born from the ashes of war, full of quiet resilience and unexpected hope. Set in the aftermath of World War II, the film follows Juliet, a London writer searching for purpose in a world still picking up the pieces. Played by Lily James, Juliet is all wit and charm, but beneath the surface, she's haunted by loss and longing for something real. A letter from Dawsey, a farmer on the Nazi-occupied island of Gernzie, pulls her into a mystery and a new life. Juliet travels to the island where she's swept into the orbit of the Gernzie Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, a band of eccentric survivors who found solace in books during the occupation. The islanders' stories are full of heartbreak, courage, and against all odds, love. Juliet's connection with Dawsey starts as a friendship but quietly blooms into something deeper, grounded in shared trauma and hope. This isn't a story of grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about finding connection in small moments, choosing kindness in the aftermath of cruelty, and trusting that love can heal even the deepest scars. The film's picturesque scenery and gentle humor make it a warm, comforting watch, but the emotions run deep. In a world torn apart, sometimes the bravest thing is to open your heart again. If you crave a love story that sneaks up on you and leaves you smiling, Gernzie is a gem. The Americanization of Emily, 1964. If you think every World War II love story is a tear-soaked tragedy or all stiff upper lips, The Americanization of Emily is about to change your mind. Fast. This 1964 film, starring James Garner and Julie Andrews, is equal parts razor-sharp satire, anti-war drama, and unconventional romance, set against the jittery backdrop of London in the final days before D-Day. James Garner plays Charlie Madison, a self-proclaimed practicing coward who's proud to be more interested in good food and good company than in dying for anyone's cause. His job? He's a dog robber, essentially a resourceful aide for a Navy admiral, hunting down luxuries for his superiors and keeping himself far from the front lines. But then he meets Emily Barham, played with complexity and heart by Julie Andrews, a war widow who's determined never to fall for a soldier again, no matter how charming. The chemistry between Charlie and Emily is all sparks and banter, mixing romance with biting social commentary. The film dives deep into what it means to survive versus what it means to be a hero, poking holes in the myth that every war story needs to end in noble sacrifice. As their relationship heats up, D-Day looms closer, and Charlie finds himself thrown right into the path of the action he's always avoided. What makes this film so fresh, even decades later, is its refusal to play by the rules. It's a love story that's unafraid to ask the big questions about bravery, grief, and what we owe ourselves versus what we owe the world. Instead of glory, it finds courage in honesty and love in the most unexpected places. If you want a waiwei-2D romance that's clever, subversive, and doesn't pull punches, The Americanization of Emily is a must-watch. Hannibal Brooks, 1969. Bet you didn't expect an elephant in your W-1-2 romance, did you? Hannibal Brooks is the ultimate oddball entry, a POW escape caper where love, laughter, and heart-pounding action go trunk in trunk. Michael J. Pollard stars as Stephen Brooks, a British prisoner who's landed himself in a mess only war can cook up. Instead of the usual grueling labor, Brooks is sent to a Munich zoo as punishment, and his unlikely charge is an orphaned elephant named Lucy. But when the zoo is bombed and chaos erupts all over again, Brooks hatches the craziest escape plan ever. He's going to break out, and Lucy is coming with him. Enter Anna, a tough-as-nails member of the Austrian resistance, who stumbles into Brooks's wild plan. At first, they're just two desperate souls thrown together by fate and necessity, but as they trek across the war-torn Alps, dodging patrols, sneaking through forests, and relying on each other at every turn, something unexpected happens. Anna's courage and wit awaken a protective, deeply loyal side of Brooks. Their bond grows, not in big, sweeping declarations, but in moments of trust, laughter, and shared hope. What makes Hannibal Brooks stand out is its heart. This isn't a tragedy or a steamy affair, it's about two people and one elephant who refuse to let war crush their spirit. The romance is subtle, grounded in loyalty and small acts of kindness, reminding you that love doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. If you're rooting for optimism and offbeat adventure, this one's a hidden gem worth discovering. So, which of these love stories would you risk it all for? Maybe you're a Casablanca dreamer, or maybe you'd march an elephant across the Alps for your shot at happiness. World War II. Romances prove that even when the world is exploding, the heart's got its own agenda. Did your favorite make the list, or did we leave out a hidden gem? Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more wild movie journeys, and remember, sometimes love is the real revolution.